So I'm going to get through this quickly because this is on everyone's mind. First of all, I wanted to say congratulations to the women's U.S. World Cup FIFA team. I feel great about that. It's great for my country. And yet, everything like everything else, like even eating chicken sandwiches now, we have to politicize it all. So I feel compelled to talk about it a little bit. The first thing is I've been watching women's soccer for a while, and I remember in 2011 it was the U.S. women's team, I believe, against Japan. But Japan won, and I was very happy for Japan because this was right after the Fukushima disaster, and it really uplifted everyone's spirits. And there is a lot of interest in women's soccer in Japan and in other parts of the world, but it isn't in much of the world. And a lot of places like Saudi Arabia, for example, where they watch a lot of soccer, even when it's not World Cup time, and neighboring countries, like that's where the revenue comes from. And so this recent article that was spread by, I regret to say, one of my friends who said she was going to be watching my channel. I'm sorry, but like, it says that women generate more revenue for each game in U.S. games. And while that might be true by some metric, when we imagine each individual game, number of people who go see it, and so on, especially considering that the men's team is the laughingstock of the world. It's really the Chicago Cubs, and even that's an outdated reference, but it's sort of the Chicago Cubs of the football, as in soccer world. And so it's, it makes sense that games in the U.S., like U.S. games with the women's soccer, they would make more money. But that's part of what makes it so difficult to explain, so aggravating. Because yes, these women who are giving their lives to their sport are earning less than men who are doing that same path. And that kind of sucks. If we consider just the basic meaning of that, yeah, it does suck. But at the same time, they are part of an organization that has a much smaller audience, and it's part of an organization that does not generate as much international viewership, revenue, merchandise, or anything. And I'm just stating facts. Like, I imagine back in Saudi Arabia, like if you put on a women's soccer game, everyone would consider you haram and boo and hiss, and they'd want to see the men's game. There's also a physical, biological factor when you consider that these male athletes, like some kids in the school, I don't remember exactly where, it was a middle school or a high school, they were able to beat this exact team, these boys, in a football club in a high school. And that's not to say that women aren't physically worse, it's just a difference. Like for certain sports like endurance swimming and different things, like women are actually much better than men. But that's just a simple biological fact, and maybe in a fantasy world it's not true. However, with all that said, I am going to say that this is a wonderful thing, and I hope that more girls play soccer. And I really hope that there is more interest and more revenue for women's soccer. But at the same time, I am just simply stating the plain fact as to why this isn't true yet. Over and out.